Well, g'day tubes, how's she hanging? Pretty good here. So today is, I guess, our annual spring oil change, engine oil change on the little Mini X here. I only do it once a year, and I don't put a whole pile of hours on. Although last summer I did a job for a guy with it, and I probably put about not that much, maybe 6 or 7 hours on it. I was there pretty much all day digging fence post holes for him and deck post holes. So we're at 189 hours. I could probably run it to the 200, but when that happens I'll be going super crazy busy needing it, and I won't have time for that. So we're still running this same factory battery, although I need to get a new one for it. I just keep the trickle charger on it, but it's got these tiny little pencil, if you remember from last year, the little pencil posts on it. So if I wanted to get a new battery, I'd probably have to well, I might be able to order one online, but I'd have to probably get some new ends here and get these off of here and crimp on the normal size ends. I don't know why they use these little ones. It doesn't make much sense to me. It's hard to find a battery like that here. Even my battery guy I go to, he's like, well, you better bring that one up for us and we can have a look at it. We could probably order you something, but you better bring it up. I'm like, oh, great. So it's a 20-hour, 35 amp hour cold cranking amp of, I guess, 332 amps. So it's not a huge battery, but it's good enough for this thing. But I've already had this run. I'm just going to run a little more, maybe, because it does take a little bit to get the oil warmed up in this guy. I've had it, and I was doing some leveling. Doing some leveling a little earlier there with it, so I usually run it until I feel the warm air coming out of there. So not quite yet. Cool down again on me, but yeah. It looks like we did her April 16th of last year, so we're a little bit earlier than now, but that's about right. We had 166.6, so we got 189, so that's like 20 some odd hours, I guess, we put on it this summer. Let me get my brain out here and we'll calculate that. Where's my brain? There it is. So when we say 166.6, 166.6 minus 189.4 is 22.8 hours. All last summer, so that's not bad. That's not bad. And something I haven't ever checked is the filter that's in this separator here, but it doesn't look bad. I can see the bottom just fine, so I'm not even going to bother with that. I'll maybe look at it with my flashlight thing, but yeah, so far so good. I'll let her warm up a little more first, so I got to get some tools. I already got a lay-in sheet, and then I got a bucket there, and I just got to get the plug out, a little drainer out. It needs a good wash, so inside, I don't know how it would get all in there now, but and get the fuel filter, or the oil filter out of here, which is probably why it's all dirty down there, as you can see. It's all dirty, really dirty down there. So yeah, I honestly, seriously only put fuel in it like once a year. Believe it or not. Let's go over to this other side here. I'll show you the fuel. Fill that up in there. And it's, yeah, and I must have already filled it once. Probably last year when I was running it for the guy, I filled it right up then. And normally I only fill it once a year, so it's pretty amazing. So we'll dump the oil out of her, let her sit and drain out good. We'll check the filter and stuff, change the oil filter, and all good stuff. Now I know I've had you under there before, where we pull the plug out. It's kind of tricky because I don't, well, let me go look in my toolbox, see if I got my little tripod thing, or I'll have to stand you on something else here. So I also got that part in the mail for the tractor. For this, let's take this in here and be a little quieter. For this tank, and I've been kind of working on that today. There's the new tube. We're not going to be doing this today. This will be another day, but that's the new tube that I painted up and sandblasted. That'll be our hose for our joiners. I don't need this plugged in again now. Just got to go back down. This is my 6-volt charger for charging the battery for the AR. I just keep it topped up too, right? So we're going to open this maybe while that thing's warming up here and have a look at this little fuel valve, which is the old one there. That was leaking. Silly thing. And I'm hoping that they give us a new O-ring for it, because I've got O-rings, but I don't think they're fuel-safe O-rings. So let's get you on a tripod. We'll open this up and have a look. Alright, Steiner Tractor loves their staples. They really don't want their packages to come apart, I'm guessing. So just, yeah, there's a staple right there. Feel it. And this comes from Lennon, Michigan. Never been there before, but okay, gotta go off camera. Man, that was, oh, I see what they've done. Okay, let's just do that. Bypass the staples. There we go. Some more junk. I hope there's no horsetails, cow tails. Yeah, there is. They love these things. Oh, they're terrible. They're good for, like I say, about 3 minutes, and then you don't chew them quick and get rid of them. They're, oh boy. Whew. Alright, that's it for that little box. Gotta take my garbage and get rid of the garbage in the river. No, I'm just kidding. Cow tails, nasty. So this ABC 1, 2, oh, it should have been a 9. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Alright, what do we got? Oh, it does come with a washer too. Or the O-ring. That's good. Well, that's pretty good. I'm liking the looks of that one. Now let's feel here. This old one compared to the new one was pretty loose. And get her to move again. Oh, it's jumping. What the heck? There. So yeah, it's pretty darn loose. Definitely doesn't feel right. I don't know if you can get this thing to screw right back out. I don't think so. I don't know. You don't think you can even service those, but now let's feel this one. Oh yeah, that's like you can't really, you can turn it by hand, but you can't. I think the little washers just rotted right out of that one. It's interesting because it never leaked before, but there we go, nice new one. And gotta watch I don't lose that little O-ring because it's just kind of sitting there. But I'm gonna put some of my stuff on it too, I think, when we get to that. That won't be today though, because I'm changing oils today. And there we go, sweet. Oh yeah, and this one had a little bit of a issue in there. If we can get it to focus, you can see that it isn't looking so nice in there. What's this one here look like? It should be all nice and good, maybe. Oh, I lost the O-ring. Put that there. Yeah, so that one's quite a bit nicer looking in there. So nice. It looks like it's pretty steep in there though, compared to well, this is an old one, mind you, but well, I guess that's right. It didn't look right, but the other one, I'm surprised it wasn't leaking there on that fit in there, because there's not really much there. But anyways, that one should be good. Put that guy back in, and yeah, I'll put a little bit of stuff around there too, just in case. Just in case. Alright. That's good. That is ready for that. We'll just put that guy up there, and let's get some tools. And my messy desk. And we'll get some tools and start dumping the oil out of this guy. Whoa, hang on! I can't find my little stand. I think it might be inside in my other toolbox there, but I'm going to jump on this board here with you, and we're going to get this bolt out. And you're pretty much looking in the right area. I keep getting confused, but there's one back here. I think that's for the coolant. There's one here, and I think that's for the hydraulics. Or that could be the coolant, or vice versa. And then there's one buried way up under here. That you can see, that's the oil. Engine oil. So, might get wiggled here a little bit, but we're gonna go in here and I can get in here. Might need an extension. Extender. An extender. Holy jumping, who put that on last? My goodness. Holy crap. Actually, who did put that on last? I don't know if I can get that off with this little ratchet. I might have to go get something a little longer here with a bit more leverage to it. I'm going the right way, right? Yeah, okay. Let's try it this way. Holy shnikes! Okay, I'm gonna try to get something a little longer here. Alright, I don't know why this is so tight. But I'm gonna try just using a wrench. Oh my goodness, a wrench. I'll put that on there like that. Holy jumping, who put that on there? Oh my goodness, I knocked my glasses off and everything. Huh. That's not good in there by the hydraulic lines, I wouldn't say, for the drives. I'm not going to hurt much, but holy man, I must have torqued that on with a 500,000 foot-pound torque wrench or something weird. I don't know. Hopefully this is the right one. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. Black is your boot. Still cold too. I can't believe that. I like that little test though. It should gloom, gloom, gloom. And that means that your everything's up top is sealed up good. It's not really glumping, but as soon as I let the stick out or open the cap, she should start glumping. Okay, let's go up top there. Oh geez, falling over. Okay, I'm gonna hold that. There we go. Glump. Oh, it must have sealed up again. Stay. Okay. Now she's draining 2.5 liters in there. So that'll be a minute, and I'm gonna have to get my wrench guy on there, I think, because there's no way I can get in there and turn that off. Okay, usually this is a horrible, awful mess, and it probably will be again. Ooh, that radiator's hot. Likely will be again. Why is that just sitting there? It's interesting. It's not broken. Not much plastic holding it, though. That's a bit depressing. That's why they put a hunk of tape on it, I guess. A few little fuses, I guess. You know, there's a couple little circuits on here for your relay, for your starter, and your... what else would there be on there? A light, I guess, up front. A couple other little things, probably. The fuel pump, when you turn it, that thing would be on a fuse. Okay, let's see. This little strap wrench. They work pretty good, but sometimes they're kind of a nuisance. Let's see if we can get in here and get this off. If you remember last year we did this, I tried one of the John Deere filters on here for the John Deere tractor, the backhoe and stuff. Same filter as the little green guy, the 2032R or whatever that is. I forget which one that is. My memory's just shot now. Now, if this doesn't get this off of here, we might have to do something else. Oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to grip onto this thing. It's got good intentions, this strap wrench thing, but keep it on there. Oh, she's turning it. It's not the nicest spot to get into here, I must say. Okay, now I gotta get this off really fast before it all dripples all over everything, which it does anyways. Can't do much about her. Put that in the pan for now. Put a towel down there and try to capture some of it. And go get a new filter for it here. Alright, I actually got a Kubota filter this time. I had one last year still too, but I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try one of these John Deere ones, see what happens. And nothing happened. It was just fine. You don't necessarily have to use an OEM. It's kind of a good idea, but you can get away with other filters as long as it's the same size with, you know, there and stuff. I'm just going to steal a bit of oil out of here. And I'm not going to fill that. I don't like doing that with ones that lay down like this. And I didn't mark on the hours or anything. Probably should have. I could write on there. I'm going to have to wipe it off now though. With my marker because now I've got oily gooey stuff all over it. So, maybe give her one snug it up with this guy. And these having the paint on them like this, they don't really grip too nice. Probably won't at all now because I've got oil here. It's not going to grip onto that. Oh, that should be lots. Okay, what I will do is get some clean towel and some brake clean. I'm just going to wipe off the end of that filter and then write on the hours and the day we did it. And there we go. That'll do. It doesn't really matter a whole lot of the hours. This isn't a rental machine, so it's not getting a whole pile of hours a year. So there's way more sitting than running. But I kind of like putting the how many liters to put in it, or how much oil you're going to put in it, because now if you didn't, you'd have to look it up in your book every year, or if you had a good memory you could do that, but put it on there and then you'll know. So alright, so what we're going to do now is go to the other side and have a look at the air filter. I don't have one, but I could grab one probably if I'm over the Kubota dealership guys one day there. Plus I do the other side and do that. It's probably not too bad. I think I remember last year that it wasn't too bad then either. But we'll pull it apart here and oh, that's fun. Take that off too, I guess. Okay. Got a bit of dirt in there. A little dirty. It's not too bad. Generally, I'm not using it in a real dusty environment, but you know, it's going to get a bit. Seems like a lot of dirt settled in right there, which is interesting, but that's not even too bad. There's a little bit here, but whenever I see it getting kind of like more browned color, see, that's what the color should be probably inside there, that sort of yellower, and this was a little bit darker, but I mean it's not working in a real dusty environment, so it hardly gets the rental, we'll say rental hours to it. But it's also got this which I'm not crazy on this one, but it's like a screened one. It's just got a dent in it for some reason. It's just got a screen on it, and that's to catch all the micro stuff, I guess. But that's not too bad. I'm not too worried about that filter. This one's not too bad either. Probably order one and keep it in stock, but I'll wait. It's probably like a $50 filter from Kubota, no doubt. Probably order one online, but I don't know. It's not that big a deal right now. If it was in a dustier area, I probably would have got one. You got to check your little flapper. Make sure you put the top to the top. Top wants to go that way. Come on now. Why aren't you gripping onto there, bud? Oh, there we go. That was off a hair bit. Okay. I couldn't see it. That's got to go on there. And a little puller back onto there. That holds her on, I guess. She's a little dirty and dusty. I'd like to get her washed maybe, but I don't know if I want to get a whole lot of water down there. I could probably just hit her with some air maybe and blow it off, but sometimes washing it's just better looking. Alright, filters in. That filter's good. We gotta add some oil, but we gotta put the plug back in. So I'll just run downstairs there and do that. We've got lots of coolant in it, so that's good. Gonna give her some grease here too, maybe. The tracks are fairly tight, so I won't probably grease them, but we'll grease the spindle and everything too once we get her running here. We'll get her spinning and greasing at the same time maybe. So, all right, I'll go down and throw that plug back in, and holy man, I don't know what Hercules put that on, but that was pretty wicked. And then we'll fill her back up here. All right, we got some fresh juice for it. And I usually put a bit in and then not the whole thing, because sometimes I think it doesn't quite take all that. Well, last year I wrote down that much, so I don't know. But should be good. And plugs in? Yes, pretty sure. And away we go. So yeah, it's been a good machine. I've been really happy with it. It's not giving me any problems other than this battery, but I kind of think that's, well, it's a factory battery, and this thing sat for a year outside, and they probably juiced it up, and then you know, I think they just leave the batteries in, and maybe they'd unhook the battery off the thing, but you know, sitting for a year in the machine outside is probably not good for it. So it's probably, it wasn't too bad to start though, and then it just, you know, the year after that it got kind of crappy, and so I'm gonna have to maybe source a battery out. It's kind of a weird shape, but it's a USA battery, so I might be able to just order one, maybe potentially. Where are we sitting here now? Go a little more yet. And we'll check the hydraulic fluid too. Is there's a little window you look at. And I'll just let that all dribble to the bottom there. And while we're waiting for that, get you off the tripod here, and we'll have a look at this hydraulic oil level. That's your hydraulic oil tank there. So it's all jammed in real tight, and it goes down below and I think underneath a bit. And then way in here there's a little sight glass guy right by your 1/2 inch exhaust pipe. So cute. There's the, you can see the ring gear in there and the flywheel actually. Well, lucky there. That's cool. Never noticed that before. And that's your level there. So I guess if you got her in the window glass there, she's all good. So that's just for your hydraulics on it, but yeah, it's not something I've topped up, you know, and probably should, well, I don't know how often you should, you know, dump that out and put new stuff in, but I haven't done it yet. It's only got 100 and, we'll say 90 hours, so I'm sure it goes up to 500 before you're supposed to do that, or maybe even 1,000, I don't know. I'm sure it tells you in the manual, but. And there's your glow plugs, 1, 2, and 3. Little wee guys, and they're done by the key by pulling it backwards. That's what they're on, like a little strip there, and then your injectors, of course. And this one, if you run out of fuel though, you can just crank it and start. You don't have to like bleed everything out, which is kind of nice. There's a fuel filter down here. Where's it? Down there, which is kind of buried. And there's a separator here. And I've never done either one, so, and I got a pretty good filter on my diesel tank there, so shouldn't need it. But anyways, so that's that. We'll let that sit a few minutes, and we'll check the stick and see if we're all right or not. Pretty sure we'll have to add a bit more, but I don't like to overfill it, right? It's nice to kind of see what's going on, so we'll let that sit and check her up. I guess while we're waiting, I'll hit a couple of grease joints here too. I do these all the time, but loosen that a little bit. That adjusts the jaws in there. I don't know if you knew that. So it's easier to get on and off. Easier. Another one there, and I think that's it for there. I do the boom all the time, so I probably won't do it today. Yeah, and then there's a couple over here we'll have a look at. And one here is for the pinion gear underneath. I don't know if we've seen that while we were under there. And the other one is, what the heck is this one again now? I don't remember. It's been a while. It's been a while. I know the one's the pinion gear, but you kind of need to do it and then spin it a bit. Put some on here. They want you doing that every 50 hours and the other one every 200 hours. I can't remember what that one's for now though. But we're not even at 200 hours yet, but I'll put 6. I got a few joints here. Might as well do them while I'm here, I guess. That's for the swing. One under here for the swing too on the bottom. And up and down to the boom. One joint, or one fitting does them all. So and one for that guy. And we'll have to give that swing a bit more, but I will do some on the boom here too. Alright, so this one's a fairly important one. Some of them don't move a whole lot. This one here, it doesn't really move a lot. Let's give it some. Down here on these guys. This is a high volume grease gun, so you don't need to put a whole pile to it. I did that one. A couple on the bucket here, but the pins are on the other way because I put them on backwards, I guess. That's good. I think I got that one. I think that is it. No, a couple over here. Couple over here. That'll do her. Okay, we'll leave the gun out for a minute until I fire it up here. I'll check the oil, fire it up, and then we will check the oil, fire it up, and then we'll grease it a little bit while we're spinning that boom around. Alright, it's probably going to need more, I guarantee it, but I'll just see how much is in here before I start it up. Yeah, we're up to about halfway there now, so I'm going to add a little more because that filter will take, probably not what's quite in there, but it's probably going to take all this oil, I would think. Alright, that should be enough to show that it's a full level. Oh, go away, mosquito. I am not ready for them yet. Oh my goodness. I hate mosquitoes. Can't believe they're already going home, man. So that is still trickling down, but yeah, we're up pretty high there now. So I'm going to fire it up for a brief minute. I've been on and on about the geese here. Canadian geese are so different now. Their characteristics are not like what they used to be even 20 maybe years ago. You know, there's weird things they're doing. They never used to walk through a bush to get to a spot to eat with the babies. They'd always stay in the water. Now they're up, you know, eating and stuff. You never see them out in the farmers' fields eating. They land out there and eat now. They can hover apparently and land in a tree branch. I've seen that. Over by our McDonald's down here, there's a house down there that they land on the roof. Mosquitoes have even changed now too, and it's like, what the crap? Like, they're never out until, like, you know, maybe into June. It's like April and they're out already. Like, what the heck is going on in this world? You gotta wonder. Anyways, rant. Let's start her up here. Give it a little glow maybe, and then fire it up. Let it run a minute, and we'll let her sit another couple minutes and drain back down, and we'll see where our level's at. Should be just about good. It's interesting to have a clear filter of something, you know, that you'll be able to take the pressure, you can see the oil going through it, and as it's getting dirtier, you can see it getting dirtier. That'd be kind of neat. Alright, that probably should be good. I'll run her up maybe a little bit. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, I'll let her sit a minute and we'll check her again. Alrighty, let's give her a check again. We'll just take her out and swipe her off. Good and clean. Check her. Yeah, we're down about half there, so I almost think that's going to take more, but we'll put the rest of this in. I don't want to overfill it, but I've got quarter of a liter left there, 250 mils, so that might be enough. Let's just try that a little bit first. And while we're waiting for that to do its thing, we'll go inside here for a moment. I want to show you something. One's the tiller. We'll go back to that in a second, but that fuel tank for the tractor, I took that valve out and dropped all the stuff. Look at all the other junk I got out, and I blew that thing out too. There's a lot of other bits of particles and stuff. It's pretty clean now. What was interesting though was, well, there's one there. Okay, I'm gonna have to let that settle a minute. Let's talk about this tiller here. I want to show you something else in that bucket when it was in there. Anyways, I left this tiller out all winter. My intentions were to strip it down and clean it and sandblast it, whatever, and repaint it, and good to go, but never got to it. I fired it up. Tried to fire it up there last week, I guess. My father-in-law wanted to do his garden, so I'm like, oh yeah, it should fire right up. So yeah, sure enough, nothing. Didn't even budge. It moved, current turned over, like, you know, it pulled, but no way it was starting. I started pulling. I'm like, oh, I see water coming out of the exhaust. So I'm like, that's not good. My homemade custom exhaust here. This is awesome. It works good. Because otherwise the engine blows straight back on the operator and you're the whole time, right? So anyways, got her cleaned out, took the plug out. I never videoed the tape disc because I just, you know, wanted to get her going. And I just didn't bother bringing the camera with me that day, but got her going anyway. So pulled the spark plug out, got some air, compressed air going, and started pulling it. Got her all cleaned out, put the plug back in, and had fresh gas in at that point anyways. Pulled it, fired up, ran pretty good, not too bad at all. So I'm like, okay, so I've always had a problem with the belt on it, which I guess I've still got them in my truck because I was over there tilling for them when I finally got it going here. Anyways, ran into a problem with the belt. It's like 38's too tight because the tines don't really want to stop driving. A 39's too big because then you hit something and it just kind of slipping. And you're like a 38.5 or something. I don't even know if they come like that, but that or I could maybe adjust the engine. But anyways, it wouldn't. Before I took it over to do his garden on the weekend, I thought, oh, I'll fire it up and let it run for a bit and just make sure it's good. I'd already changed the oil and everything in it, so it was all clean. And it fired up and then boom, 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 boom. It was running really crappy. Like, oh, what the heck now? So I'm like, I had the carburetor off, cleaned it all out, blew everything out. It was clean. I'm like, it sounds like it's like getting air or something's not right. So I'm like, okay, let's drop the carburetor off again. But before I did a flow test. So take the bowl off, right off, and then of course the float's hanging down, so it's open. Push the gas on, it was like dripping. I'm like, oh, that's not a good thing. So inside this little valve here for the fuel, there's a little diaphragm with 2 holes in it, and then 90s to into the carburetor. And it was actually where it comes, well, let's see if we can get here. I had to put a new fuel line on it too. Right in this sort of area there, where it comes in, there's a little spout spigot thing there that the fuel line goes onto, and into there it was all blocked up in there. I'm like, oh, for cornflakes, really? So I cleaned it all out again, had the carb all off again, cleaned it all out again, and put it on, and it ran, but it doesn't seem to want to run off. Like, it runs better on half choke. So I'm like, something's not right. I'm kind of wondering if all the water that was in it froze and maybe did some damage inside to something, and something is out of spec now, or something is cracked potentially, and it's getting a little bit of air in there. It just doesn't seem to want to run off choke. So I should have brought it in here, I guess, and had it stored inside at least, or in the container or something. I didn't, my mistake, but it sat out like 5 or 6 years and never used it behind my house, and then I put gas in it, and I think I checked the carb and fired up and ran great. So something did something to something last year, I guess, and that's not good. So I think this engine might have to come off. And I do, if you remember way back, when I did the comparison between one of these Princess Auto Power Fist engines to a genuine Honda, we tore each one down and had a look inside, and looked at the differences, and they're all actually pretty similar, except these ones have a plastic camshaft gear, where the other one on a Honda was actually metal. So, but everything was pretty much identical. So I've got still that engine that's still like brand new, that's never actually ran, so I might just switch it and get rid of the headache of this, and we'll tear this thing down one day and kind of see what happened and what's going on. So yeah, but I've never done anything else with the rest of the tiller. Like, it is so wore out. These tines are so, look how much they move. There's bushings in there, I guess, that are wore right out. I've never looked into the chain case here or anything and see if there's even oil in it. Probably not. I'm sure it's long gone, but it doesn't make any noises. So drive on with these old 70s units, right? They last forever. So yeah, and it's a pretty good machine. It does beat you up when you get ripping at it, but I've been looking kind of for maybe a rear tine tiller or something. I'd really like to get one that I had, we rented at the rental I worked at when I was a young guy there, and they were the rear tine Kubota tillers, and they were from the 70s, I think, too, and they were like bulletproof. I seen one on the Facebook Marketplace, but he says, oh, the engine blew a rod in it. I'm like, oh, you didn't check the oil, did you? And blew the rod out of her or something. So, I mean, I could pick up that one, I guess, if it's still available, and then try to find a new engine for it, but I'm like, I don't want to do that. This one's still pretty good. Just have to change the engine on it. But yeah, my custom mufflers, it works, but the other way it blows on you. But you can get deflectors that would mount on and deflect it. I don't know what I'm going to do with that though, but might just switch that right over to that one, or I don't know. But anyway, so what I wanted to show you in here was it was interesting what I got out of this fuel tank here. I guess if you know what an earwig is, little creepy crawly things with those little pinchers on their butt. I guess they get up under here somehow and somehow get down into the tank, because if you look really close, I think I can see some right here already. There was a bunch of their little butt pinchers. I guess they're like a bone almost, so the gas doesn't rot them out. But let's see if we can get down here deep enough. See if we can pick one out here. There is one right, ooh, right there. See the little claw looking thing? There's actually 2, 3 of them right there. Right in the middle of your thing. Let's see if we can get away from that glare. Right there. I can't really get in any closer, but that's, oh come on, that's one right there. See the little pincher guy? There's one there, one there. It was full of the little earwig butts and their little pincher butt things. I think maybe that's the only one in here, but oh, was there one over there? Maybe right there. Pincher butts, isn't that hilarious? It wouldn't last long in the gas. There's one, maybe one there. But it's amazing what particles you get in this stuff. But there you go. I just wanted to show you that. Thought that was kind of interesting. Earwig butts. Alright, got a little bit of oil left in there, but I'm not sure if I need it or not. In the jug, I mean. So we'll check this now. Oh yeah, it's down to the 7 there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's down a fair bit there still. So anywhere in that thing is fine, but I will put the rest of this in, and it's actually maybe going to even need a little bit more, kind of surprised. I thought it'll stick up there a minute, and let them drizzle into there, and then we'll check her again. 2.5 liters, that's what the book says, but it's actually almost maybe 2.7. Interesting. Alright, let's give her another check here. It's draining a bit, there's still a bit in that jug, but we're up a bit more to the above the 7 there now, but where my finger is, but I think I'm gonna maybe get another little bit. It's interesting, it actually takes more. I think I found that before, you know what, I'm kind of thinking that's what I've noticed before with this thing. Okay, this will probably be too much, but I'll put this in anyways. We'll just try that maybe. I don't want to overfill it. So. Whoa, stop. And we'll let her sit again for a few minutes. You gotta let her get to the bottom. You get a better accurate reading then. Alright, think we might have her now. It's maybe just a hair bit down, but that's probably fine. Double check her again. Yeah, so there's the full mark. I don't know if you can see that, and now we're just down about there. So I'm fine with that. That'll be good. Because it's good to leave it sometimes a bit low, because after you run it for a bit, you never know, the levels might change. It shouldn't, but you never know, right? So I'll leave her at that. And that should be good. Everything else should be fine. I didn't really check this little fuel separator, but it looks all clean. You can still see the things inside there, so I'm not going to worry about that yet. Doesn't really have that many hours on it, so alright, we should be good. Let's put the lid down here. Oh, and we'll fire it up, and I'm going to pick the boom up and get the grease gun going here so I can grease that ring gear under there and pinion gear as we got her spinning. Okay, so what we'll do is, it's all greasy. Tighten that up a bit, and we'll put this on the ring gear there. It should stay there, and I should be able to start it up with help. Hold it up, don't hit nothing. Well, that didn't last long. I gotta figure out how to light this dizzy. Oh boy. Woo. Alright, I'd like to look under there and see some grease smothered all on that thing. I don't know if we will or not, but let's get under there and have a look. Well, I'm not seeing it smothered, but I see some that's come out of the actual drive there, so I guess it's... maybe I need to do some more, I don't know. I'd like to see it kind of smothered on there, but I don't know. Well, that'll do, I think. Nothing up here I really need to do with this thing. I guess I'll just put her back on my trailer. And we will load it back up. I've smothered some more grease in there anyways until the tube ran out, which I only got about another 5 or 6 pumps and that was it. So, holy cow, this thing doesn't have much for suspension. That's alright, I'm all good. I'll live. I got my trailer here. Holy cow. We're actually going in high range right now. Fast. Now we're slow. It doesn't turn too well in slow. Make sure that's up. And I gotta get turned here. Let's get this started. Always go up and idle because it's a little bit crazy going up here, but yeah, so now we gotta, sometimes it shouldn't tip over, but I like to put the bucket down just in case. Sometimes it will tip, depends on, yeah, a little bit there, not too bad, but load her up, put her down. Oh, that'll do. And oh, one other thing we gotta check too. Oh, it still works. Sweet. Awesome. Well, there we go. If you haven't seen that build of that trailer, look for the Kubota trailer build, or whatever I call it, Mini X trailer build. Built that right from flat 2x2s on the ground. Now, you wouldn't believe the price of 2x2 now. It's almost $10 a foot here. I can't believe it. And the price of plywood, this is, what size did I use there? I think that's 1/2 inch. $58, I think, for a 4x8 sheet of 1/2 inch. 3/4 is like 85, what I used on the deck. Holy shnikes, I got this thing built before the COVID, that's for sure, but it's been a good little trailer, really handy, so that's what I do to load it. And then when I want to transport, I just put my 3-point hitch down here, and that'll lower it like that, and then we drive, and I flip it back up, unload it, dig my little cremation hole, put all the dirt kind of where this is sitting, to about here. I put the machine on the back, put the bucket up here, and off we go. It's awesome. Can actually dig 2 cremation holes and store the dirt on there for it. Still get the machine on, so it works really good. That was a really awesome build, but I'm sorry, there's no builds kind of since, you know, of anything, because honestly, for my needs, I don't need anything else. I'm good for, you know, buckets. I'm good for trailers now. I got no more room for trailers anyway, so I really don't have any builds. And now it would just be astronomical to build that. I'd probably be another, probably another $400 in steel on that one, not including the plywood. I'm not even going to count the plywood, because that's just rude. Frickin' $58 for a 1/2 inch sheet of plywood. Holy crap. Oh, and this is a 5/8, this one I believe it was. And I think they're 70 something, just the rough stuff. Isn't that awful? I can't believe the price of stuff now. So yeah, that's why no shed builds, no nothing builds, because there's no way I'm paying those kind of prices for that. They want to ruin the supply and demand chain thing. Well, that's fine, but you won't be getting me buying stuff, that's for sure. I'm not going to be buying freaking wood and all that stuff, and really wish I could get my own sawmill. If I had enough good trees here, I'd be cutting my own lumber, and maybe even cutting for other people too, right? Bring me your log and I'll cut her up for you. I kind of wish I had a big sawmill, but I don't think I'm going to get into that. Would be nice though, but nah. But anyways, I guess that's it for that machine. We will be working probably on this guy soon. I want to get this guy going real soon though, and get the fuel line all back on, and get the tank all mounted back in, and put some in it, and hopefully it shouldn't leak now. It better not. And because I want to get over here and get this garden going soon, because we're getting to that point where we kind of soon need to get some stuff in. Now, I don't have any seed potatoes yet either. We've kind of burnt through all our potatoes this last year, so I want to do a whole bunch more this year. So I'm going to have to go find probably about last year I did about, I think I did 2 10-pound bags last year if I remember right. So that's 20 pounds, and we got probably a 50 or so back out. So this year I think I want to see if I can get a hold of maybe a 50-pound bag of seed potatoes. There's a guy, farmer out east of us here that is a potato farmer, and he sells potato seeds and all that stuff. So probably just stuff he had from last year and he uses it again. But so we got to get the garden going. I want to get the 800 going so I can actually use the plow. I want to make the garden a little bigger maybe this year, a little longer, not maybe wider, but longer. Hopefully the ground's a little better. This stuff had a lot of rock in it and a lot of garbage and stuff in it. You name it, it was probably there. A lot of glass too, which isn't good. Our neighbor was telling us that her father, so she's lived there since she was like 7, I think, and she's been there a long time. And her father, I think, had some kind of greenhouse, and there was a bit of a ravine there, and apparently a lot of stuff went in that ravine, and then they topped it off with a bunch of rocky dirt and stuff. So that's what I'm trying to garden in now, and it's not so great. So it's either that or I talk right to her, or maybe we move out into her field more. But if we got to water stuff, we run it from the side of our house here, and then it's, you know, more hose, more, you know. So I don't want to get too far away, but I got a lot of stuff I want to plant this year, and we've got some pumpkins that we want to do, and might even do a separate little area for that. We're gonna have to go look at that soon. I don't know what we're gonna do yet, but anyways, that's some stuff that's coming up. This tiller, of course, I'm gonna sort of kind of need it somewhat soon, not right now, but I want to maybe strip the motor off this one, put the other one just on, and then it can run and go again. And then one of these days we'll tear the that engine apart and see what's going on. So I mean, it still runs like it was running, but on half choke. And I've been through that entire carburetor, air filter, all that system, and something is not right somewhere. I'm kind of thinking that something maybe had a bit too much water in it and froze and maybe did some damage. So I don't know. We'll look at that. But it ran good there, you know, with the half jog on, and for doing his garden, it seemed to run pretty good. So, anyways, we'll be doing that. And first of all, we got to get this 800 going now. I might even be plowing with the hood off, because that hood's a little bit of a bear to get on. I almost kind of need 2 people, so I'll have to swindle Dylan out here maybe to help me get her even position, and then I still got to get some bolts though for those, that one that we fixed, those little square nuts that go underneath, and then there's some that go in this way. I still have to go get some bolts, and now everything's locked down. So I might have to make some bolts. I might have to rethread some bolts that, because I only need them like this long, and I've got some that are like this long, that's way too long. So I might have to rethread and thread down almost to the bottom of like where the head is, and then make my own bolts, cut them, and oh, it's going to be a stupid thing to have to do, but I'm out of the short little 5/16 bolts, so might have to just make something work. So anyways, but yeah, that's about it for today. I don't think there's anything else, and we'll call it a day there, I guess. So thanks again for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the Kubota K008-3, I guess that's the 3rd version is what that means, mini excavator service job today. And should be good for another season. Can't wait. So I know I've got like about 10 to 15 people that called in like February. Yeah, we want to bury Dad's cremated remains. It's like, well, it's not going to be at least till May. Sorry. But anyway, so I put them off. It's like, you know, I can't get out there in the middle of the winter with that thing doing that. So we didn't have any frost this year, but I gotta kind of say no to cremation stuff burials for the winter, because if it is frozen, that's a lot of work just to get one little 18-inch by 20-inch square thawed out just to bust through to dig a little hole, right? So we do them springtime. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch you all later, and you guys have a good day. What are you doing? Just dying for petting, aren't you? The white one will take pets. The other 2 will run from you. But they're wondering what she's doing, I guess. But she just loves the attention. Watch this. We'll walk up here. Oh, you're not going to follow me now? Come on. Come on. Some good girlies. There you are. Hi, girl. What are you doing? Hi. She's not quite sure, but she doesn't run out of the way. These 2, though. Oh, you're not touching me. Get out of here. Want some petting? Come here, I can't quite reach ya. No, no petting today. Want some petting? Look, there's a little bit of grass here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, there's a tiny bit of green. Get in and get some green. You guys just demolished in there. There's nothing left for you. Oh, bother. We'll have to get in there and scrape it out for you, won't we? Apparently. She's the vocal one, too. Aren't you? You've always got something to say. Just one out. I just one out. I just one out. We need another run for you, don't we? Oh, dear.